Hurricane Erin is strengthening once again as it moves northwards towards North Carolina. Currently a Category 2 with winds of 110 miles per hour, gusting to 130 miles per hour, a pressure of 941 millibars, and it is moving north at 13 miles per hour. Here's the forecast. It is expected to get back to Category 3 strength sometime soon and hold that strength for multiple hours as it makes its closest pass to North Carolina, at which it will start weakening shortly after and will turn extratropical in about 4 days. Here are the watches and warnings. Tropical storm warnings in effect for North Carolina, Virginia, and I believe up into Maryland a little bit. I could be wrong about that. And tropical storm watches for Bermuda. Here is the wind threat. Pretty much everything I just described there. Tropical storm force winds are expected along the coast of North Carolina and Virginia, and maybe along the Cape Verde Islands. And that is a mistake on the right there. You probably didn't even see it, but yeah, that's a little mistake there. Here's the wind field. The thing's gigantic. Tropical storm force winds extend about 400 to 500 miles. And yeah, that hurricane force wind field, that's about how large that thing was when it was peaking about 4 days ago. And getting sidetracked, the thing is huge, and that's why North Carolina and Virginia are expected to get tropical storm force winds, even though it's going to stay a solid 300 miles offshore. Chances is 100% off the board. It peaked 4 days ago as a Category 5 hurricane, and I highly doubt this thing will make landfall. 5% for tropical storm 1, 2, and 3, because if it makes landfall, it will probably be a Category 3 landfall, even though it's not going to. And Category 4 and 5 it's past the point of strengthening much further than 125. Overall danger, we're given a 6. The wind threat is at a 5. Maximum sustained winds on land of up to 50 miles an hour, expected gusting up to about 70. The rainfall threat is at a 5. Not too bad from what I've seen. Maximums of I think 3 to 4 inches. Storm surge, we're given a 4. It's going to stay well off land, but storm surge could, still be present. And storm size, we're given an 8. You just saw this hurricane is gigantic now, which is kind of funny because it was tiny a few days ago. We're all in alignment on 110 miles an hour, and yeah, we're going to move on to the GFS now. Here is the GFS. This currently says 957, but the GFS is currently at 945. You can see strengthening here up to 943 millibars, which is weaker than it is right now. But if we were to go off that, 13 millibar drop would drop this thing to 928 currently, which would be a Category 4 hurricane. Like I said, I don't think it's getting up to Category 4 strength again. And yeah, just kind of turns extratropical. Let's check. I'm pretty sure they're all going to be the exact same. HAFSA has it strengthening a little bit more, down to about 943 there. Once again, it's already stronger than that. But if you were to apply that, a 7 millibar drop from right now would be 934, which is probably around what it's going to be anyway. Like, it's at 110, it's expected to get to 120. A 7 millibar drop for 10 miles an hour is fairly normal. Yeah, and then it just turns extratropical. We're going to move on to the satellite. They're all pretty much the same. Here's satellite imagery. You can see the eye started poking out again in those beginning frames, and this thing has 97 eye walls. I'm being sarcastic, but there's one eye wall here, and then another one right here, and it looks like another one trying to form right here. So the storm has 2, maybe 3 eye walls. That's been there for a while. And you can also, once again, just see on satellite how large this hurricane is. And it has multiple eye walls, which is an indicator of an eye wall replacement cycle, usually. Which means it's about to have 3 eye wall replacement cycles all at one time, which I highly doubt that will actually happen, but still. This hurricane just looks pretty good, I'd say, for a Category 2 hurricane at this latitude. It's still strengthening, I'm sure you can tell just by looking at the satellite. And the eye is it's still tiny. Well, tiny for its size. It's a relatively normal sized eye for most tropical cyclones. For this storm's size, its eye is still very small. Erin's kind of had a problem with having a small eye for its entire life. The eye was less than 10 miles at its peak. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. But Overall, this storm does look fairly good on satellite image. It is still strengthening, and it's still getting larger. And I don't know if you can see it, but just right there, the outer bands are just starting to get to North Carolina right now, which is not bad. Not bad. Not bad. That's not what I meant to say. Not good. This storm is breaking my brain. I am. I can certainly say I'm not surprised that it has started strengthening again. It's been like that for a while. The forecast has had it strengthening ever since it lost major hurricane strength yesterday. But anyway, yeah, I haven't really been uploading recently. I have had the COVID for the past few days, and I still do not feel great. So I am trying to get this update over as fast as I can. So let's just go ahead and move on to the world tropics right now. Here's the global map, Hurricane Erin in the Atlantic. I've been talking about that for the past like 8 minutes. And 18W, which has just become a tropical storm in the western Pacific near Japan. The current global threat is at a 7, 6 from Hurricane Erin, and 1 from Tropical Storm 18W. That is it for the update. Like, subscribe, and goodbye.